Today we are going to discuss solution for the general aptitude subject-based paper, specifically general aptitude questions from analytical aptitude. 10 questions from analytical aptitude. And what makes analytical aptitude interesting is that all questions are based on logic, some kind of logical deduction or inference is involved. So before we start discussing the solution for the whole paper, there is one takeaway point from this test. There is one major takeaway point because it's so significant. What is it? So, anyone regarding difficulty of questions and regarding your strategy, your time management strategy. I mentioned something in class before. There is one major important lesson here. Analytical aptitude questions are some of the hardest questions in the whole paper.
Sir?
Yeah.
Is it information before knowledge?
Information before knowledge. I mean, there are also, I don't know what you're referring to. Can you elaborate?
Sir, the point you said about the analytical reasoning, like
Uh-huh.
the information in the question is should be put before knowledge.
Oh, prior knowledge. Information given in the question should be, is what matters. Prior knowledge doesn't matter. That is correct. Fine. That's the case with logical detection. But the most important point is that analytical aptitude questions are extremely hard. Notice, to quickly give you how difficult they are, see, notice a simple MCQ, you're dealing with 4 choices, right? 1 out of 4 choices correct. The moment you have an MSQ, you are not really dealing with 4 choices. You are dealing with how many choices are here. Quickly, 3 times 5, 15 choices. That makes MSQ questions at least 4 times hard as normal MCQ question. For each choice, you have to make a decision whether it's correct or not. So MSQs are harder. This we know. But what is more harder than an MSQ question or actually analytical aptitude questions? One of the best examples here would be this question. A right triangle PQR constructed in the way. Again, if you know how to solve it, it's easy. So let me actually point out a slightly better example. Students standing in LMN are waiting in a queue, meant for children to enter the zoo. A somewhat of benign looking question is actually very problematic. Benign looking questions like this can get very problematic. This question, for example, is very hard. I'll point out why that is the case. And the triangle question, this is posted by Krishna in the quantitative aptitude discussion thread. It's actually one of the excellent questions. Again, we'll discuss this. If you know again how to solve it, it's easy. But before you know how to solve it, this question will actually, will waste a lot of time. Takeaway point is learn to identify analytical questions. It's easy. Some questions are, somewhat easy. Text inference, fine, you could do. Ordering this, the one person out of, some order, fine, you could do. Some set theory based questions, Venn diagram, you could do, again, how to be logically accurate about, fine. But the moment you sense some kind of permutation combination going on, this question, PQR, you can sense it within a minute or 2. That's how much time you should spend on it in the early stages of the examination. Last 15 minutes, you have nothing else to do. You have tried everything in a paper. That is a time to, try a question like this. Otherwise, I might even completely skip the question. Focus on other questions, right? Put that time and effort on other questions. So this question is a nice example. And if you were also somewhat kind of recognized it, that the element question is also somewhat very tricky. So let's start discussing that. And that's also a reason to have this analytical aptitude earlier in the program, because we also don't want to spend that much time. And right now you have a nice set of diverse questions. So you could quickly revise, practice and all that. So let's get started. Question number 1, 2-mark question. Plane takes a round trip when there is no wind. If there is steady wind along one direction, round trip taken by the plane would, assuming all factors. So this question is somewhat subjective, which is why I kind of gave this additional sentence. Assuming all other factors other than wind, latitude, longitude, altitude, temperature, where Superman did something to the aeroplane. All of that we tend to think. So ignoring all other factors other than wind, if they are the same, what would happen? Will the round trip take longer compared to the no wind scenario, or will it take shorter? Of course, there is this one case where there is the same time. There are special cases. We'll come to that. Is it going to take longer or shorter? C or D, and then we have to answer between, does it take more time or less time? So let's look at one at a time. Go alphabetically. Does it take more time or less time? More time. Fine. Again, pick either more or less. More, fine. And also let's have a concise explanation as to why you think it's more. Your choice with a concise explanation. Maximum 4-5 words. Some students tend to write 4-5 sentences as soon as we see this. Sivasankari thinks it's more. Priyanshu think it is more. More if the wind is against the airplane. No, this is a round trip. So forward trip, if wind is against, backward trip, wind is along the airplane. So this is round trip. Let's get our pen. A, B. Plane goes like this, comes through the same distance. Let's assume wind direction. One of the questions notice is along one direction. Which direction is not specified? Need not be along this way, which is where you tend to get some of this extreme, equality cases, or this way, perpendicular to the movement or along the movement. You will get the extreme cases. In general, the wind could be along, some direction. This could be in 3D if you want to be slightly very, very careful about it. So this is note is a number of cases that are actually arising. One direction could mean, there are infinite directions. So if, let's say, it's along a general direction like this, it has a x component and a y component. The plane will try to move like this. If there is any y component, the plane is going to take a longer route. So of course, it could be, going up or down also, not sideways. So either it travels longer, there is no y component, there is no perpendicular component, of course, it will be the same distance. So that answers one part of the question. The second part of the question, does it take more time or less time? Notice the forward trip, in this case, will take less time. Backward trip will take more time. It's against the wind. So together, do they take more time or less time? This forward and this backward. Let's not, this B is different. Let's call it something else. Wind direction is perpendicular, then 45-degree path will be taken to go straight. Yeah, extreme cases. Again, you could make it, the same time, but we should argue it for any direction. The extreme cases are kind of over here. So for example, like this, wind like this, plane is traveling this way, it's going to take shorter time because wind is aiding the plane. Plane is on its way back, wind is against the plane. So whatever time you save some time here, you lose some time here. Question is, which one is comparatively higher? So now can we make a call? So we have some explanations in the chat. More if wind is against a plane, less because flight is going through the wind direction, so it may fly fast. Again, you're looking at one way. This is a round trip. In a round trip, forward journey, if you save time, backward journey will be losing time. The question is, do you save more time or do you lose more time? So this is speed, distance, time applied, framed as an analytical aptitude question. Extremely hard. And also, this is a very famous interview question. If you try to get into the big 5 companies, things like that, they are likely to ask same time A and B. No. The speed is different. The speed, A and B or A and D here marked are in the ground. So if plane goes by its engine speed, fix the engine speed the same. Relative velocity with respect to ground will be higher in one direction, right? So speed will be different. It won't take the same time. So quick example is, quick way out of this is, of course, you could put this as, the distance is D, wind velocity is this, and then plane velocity is this, and try to actually find the difference between, forward and backward time. A simpler way would be take an extreme case, extremes that we are kind of used to. Math questions, we'll quickly try some special cases. We'll put infinity 0, 1. We'll see if things work, right? Like that. There is a very, very special extreme case here that will help us clearly see what the picture is. let's say the flight velocity, what would that be? How many miles per hour or how many kilometers per hour? Roughly, let's say 500 flight speed, 500 kilometer per hour. Notice, let's say wind speed is also that, same as flight speed, 500 kilometer per hour. In this case, plane takes off. Will it move? Can it move from point D? Forward journey, you save some time. I agree. Wind is along this direction. The X component is 500 kilometer per hour. Now it takes off at D. So how it takes off during that wind, of course, is a special question. Let's say it takes off. Can it move? It has a speed of, plane has a speed of 500 in this direction. Wind has a speed of 500 in this direction. So with respect to ground, the velocity of the plane is 0. Plane's velocity minus the wind velocity. So plane actually cannot even move, right? If you push it higher, wind speed is 600 kilometer per hour. Plane would be moving in the other direction. That's it. Engine kind of runs out of its maximum speed, right? Instead of going to A, it's going towards D. Of course, now this is a logical question. Yeah, sir, if plane continues that way, Earth is round, so it will eventually get back to A. But again, that time will be longer. Yeah, there is a minor detail over there based on where A and B are. But notice in this case, flight cannot move. Extreme case. That means it's going to take infinite time. That means it's going to take more time. It will take the same time if the X component is 0, only Y component is 0. In that case, it will take the same time. No, distance is same. Speed is also same. Wind, the relative speed with respect to ground changes. See, engine is capable of taking the flight at a speed of 500 km per hour when there is no wind. So flight will be moving at this speed with respect to the ground. When there is wind, a forward trip flight will have 1000 km per hour. Reverse trip flight will have 0 km per hour speed with respect to ground. 1000 and 0 km per hour. Travel longer. Notice if there is wind, you have to make a correction for it. If there is no wind, let's say you can move in a straight line. With wind, you are taking a curved path. That's why C is correct. With wind, you have a curved path. One could say, sir, we can actually go in a direction where, we can choose a direction such that flight will move in a straight line. Again, that's an extreme case. That's the same distance case. Extreme case. There is no way it can get shorter. And notice the same distance is also over here. Did that explain, Dinesh?
Yes, sir, it's fine, sir.
Fine. So the answer here is A and C.
Hello, sir.
Yeah. Please name yourself.
Can you repeat? Sir, can you repeat, please? I didn't understand.
Can we get back to this after? If anyone else have question here? Yeah, anyone has? If not, we'll come to this again at the end of the class. If not, someone else also has the same question, sir. I don't follow the explanation. We'll discuss it right now. A very quick explanation. With wind, it's going to take a curved path, which is going to be longer than a straight line. Best case is same distance. And when there is wind, one of the extreme cases, quick example is, wind speed is same as maximum engine speed. Flight cannot travel. Starts from D, it has to stay at D. Engine cannot really work against the wind. So time taken is infinite. And if you actually even do a proper calculation, you could see that time lost here is always going to be higher. Even if you say some time, there is going to be more time lost. You can do that calculation, but this extreme case should quickly answer you. Here it takes infinite time.
Yes,
fine. So now let's get back to this question. This is again what I would call as a controversial question. This is technically text inference because this is inference. Notice we saw a lot of example from what is a summary of the above text, right? This is notice first question where we see an inference question. There has been a lot of controversy behind this. First of all, this is some kind of GMAT, GRE question. Gate kind of took the test, and the original question was, what does serum mean in the above text? And they gave 4 meanings for serum. We all know that. So GRE Gate committee what they did is they kind of made it an inference question and asked what can you infer from this. The actual Gate question, Gate options are this. So given immunity to diseases, generally quite immune to diseases, given medicines to fight toxins, and given diphtheria, Janus serums. Or we can easily see that this is incorrect. Given medicines to fight toxins? No. Given toxins to create immunity? So these two are incorrect. And in this version, things slightly or very, very tricky. So before we get to that, let's have the version that I gave. So between A and D, which one do you think is the correct option? B. This is very, very obvious, right? No, notice there is a strong red mark over there. Here and here. There is a strong red mark over there, which is that it is there's a red mark. All diseases. All is a very strong word. We know that whenever there are strong words, you have to be very careful, right? Obviously, doctors couldn't have possibly tried, given immunity to all diseases. That makes B the correct answer for the question that I have framed here, for the options that we have here. Original gate question, though, is actually slightly different. It doesn't have the word all. In that question, A is a better answer. We'll come back to that, but think of reasons. For this question, B is the best answer. MCQ, B is the best answer. All kind of makes it incorrect. But the moment you don't have that one word, A would be the best answer. Think of the reason for that, and then we'll come back to this at a later time. Now let's go to this question. L, M, and N are waiting in a queue meant for children to enter the zoo. There are 5 children between L and M, 8 children between M and N. If there are 3 children ahead of N and 21 children, they are standing in some kind of order. What is the minimum number of children required in the queue? So where does the problem arise in this solution? What is the answer, and where do you think a trap or problem arises? Sir, there is just 4 choices, just MCQ. Why did you want about this kind of analytical aptitude questions where there is this combinatorial explosion? Krishna has an answer. 28 order not specific. Exactly. Got A by putting L in between M and N. See, notice are waiting in a queue. Order is not given. It could mean L, M, N, L, N, M. Then you know all the combinations, right? Even the reverse order of this. Then we have M, L. Then you have M, N, L. And then let's also start with N. N, M, L. N, L, M. Of course, by symmetry, we can rule out some of the cases, but notice the number of options are kind of blowing up, right? At least 3 in this case, even if you kind of account for symmetry. That is left and right. This is the head of the queue, or this is the tail of the queue. So if you kind of, if you make it kind of doesn't matter, even still there are 3 cases. For each case, you have to kind of check it. Where one MCQ question kind of become worst case 6 MCQ question. In this case, at least 3 MCQ questions. 3 MCQ question, you have to actually solve it. Consider each and every case, which is why I kind of want again and again hard. Good time and management strategies to skip it. And notice the minimum occurs when you have L between M and N, and specifically they are given to kind of distract you from the correct solution. There are 5 children between L and M, 8 children between M and N. We tend to write L, M, there are 5 children here, and then there are 8 children here. We tend to write this element in the alphabetical order. Given things here in this order, we tend to choose this, and we'll our options will be incorrect. But the best option occur with this ordering, I suppose. So we have 5 children between L and M, 5 spots. Then we have 8 children between M and N. So how many children are between L and N? That is not 8. This is 5 plus 1. There are 2. So that there are 8 between M and N. Ahead of N, let's say this is ahead direction. There are 3. And behind L, there are 21. Notice there are already 6 here. So there should be 15. So 15 plus 1 plus 5 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 3. How much is that? That is 15 plus 10, 25 plus 3, 28. Notice there is this combination involved. You have to consider each case manually and find the least case. Of course, if for this to be a minimum, it's a good idea to put L in between. You don't have to write or check all the cases. If you do that smartly, of course, you could do this very quickly. The best way to actually minimize the length of the queue is to put L in between M and N. If you see that, then you save a lot of time. You go ahead. else, get back to this question at the end of the paper, actual gate paper. Questions here. Ravi is taller than Arun, but shorter than Iqbal. Sam is shorter than Ravi. Mohan is shorter than Aru. Balu is taller than Mohan and Sam. The tallest person can be. Quickly, what is the answer for this? Again, it helps to visualize things. What is the answer? Ravi is taller than Arun. So Ravi taller than Arun, but shorter than Iqbal. Iqbal here. Sam is shorter than Ravi. So Sam could be anywhere in this region. Mohan is shorter than Arun. So Mohan could be anywhere in this region. Notice we cannot really compare Mohan and Sam right now. Balu is taller than Mohan. Balu then is in this region, taller. This is Balu's region. This is Sam's region. Tallest person can be. Obviously, it's not Mohan. Ravi is not tallest because Iqbal we know is taller than Ravi for sure. Balu can be taller than Iqbal. He can be shorter than Arun also, but can be. So Balu is still fine. Arun, of course, is shorter than Ravi for sure. So this is not correct. See Balu. Fine. Easy question again. It helps to quickly visualize and solve this. Fine. All professors are researchers. Some scientists are professors. So which of the given conclusion is logically valid is inferred from the above argument. So notice these kinds of questions are very, very kind of recurrent these days. Venn diagrams is the way to go, but be careful about how you draw the Venn diagram. I'll also again re-illustrate it. So what are the options here? So professors, researchers, we know that for sure. Some scientists are professors. While we check on this, can we quickly get an answer here? Now we have to draw this second statement carefully. It can be this, or take that original scenario, it can be this, P or yes. And any statement should satisfy all the cases. All scientists are researchers. All scientists are researchers in case 1. Case 2, no, all scientists need not be researchers. All professors are scientists. No, all professors are researchers. No, there can be scientists. Only some professors are scientists. Some researchers are scientists. This again we know is incorrect. Some researchers are scientists. Notice in case 1, some researchers are scientists. In case 2, some researchers are scientists. Oh, is good in all cases. No conclusion follows. No, we can conclude C. So this is option C. Yeah. So this kind of question is getting very recurrent. A Venn diagram is a way to go, but notice again, list all the cases in the Venn diagrams. And any statement should satisfy not just one, it should satisfy all if it is correct. Student attempted to solve a quadratic equation in x twice. However, in the first attempt, he incorrectly wrote the constant term, ended up roots 4, 3. In the second attempt, he incorrectly wrote down the coefficient of x for the roots as 3, 2. Based on the above information, the roots of the correct quadratic equation are dash. Did anyone solve this problem? So at the end of the day, they are asking roots of quadratic equation. All of us know the formula, but they kind of put this textual barrier. We have to actually, we understand the question. We know, we can easily answer it. But they obfuscated it using some kind of text. They put a jigsaw puzzle on top of quadratic equations. Did anyone solve it? Again, if you solve it, what do you think is the option with a C might be the answer. How do you think you can solve this?
Sir, we can just do it like we know that in terms of coefficient we have to multiply the factors, and in terms of middle term we have to add them. So in first case 4 plus 3 7, so the middle term will be 7, and then in the later case 2, the 3 and 2, 3 to the 6, so then the equation forms as 7 and 6, so 6 and 1 are the two factors.
Excellent. See, we discussed this thing in class. Given a polynomial, what are the sum of its roots? What are the product of its roots? Taken 1 at a time, 2 at a time, 3 at a time, and all that. Right? Taken n at a time. It all actually they will depend on the coefficients of this polynomial. A simple relation discussed in class. I think Krishna mentioned that. That's one way to solve it. That exam day we somehow forgot which coefficient corresponds to which sum. I don't know, head corresponds to sum or head corresponds to product. There is this confusion. Question is actually kind of simple. So this is x square plus first equation. Let's say b is the correct coefficient, right? Incorrectly wrote the constant term. Say, let's say the correct coefficients are x square plus bx. plus C equals 0. This is the correct polynomial. First time they wrote C bar equals, in this case 4 and 3 are roots. One quick way to do that is x minus 4 into x minus 3. X minus 4 into x minus 3. Notice x minus 4 into x minus 3, we can quickly write down x square minus 7x plus, suppose this is 12. I'm doing a product of this and I wrote this down because these two are the roots. This polynomial should be like this by definition, right? And if you simplify this, you get x square minus 7x plus 12. Then this is x square plus b bar x. I think he wrote second coefficient of x incorrectly, plus c. Notice this should be equal to x minus 3 into x minus 2, and that is x square minus 5x plus 6. So here we can see that the actual equation is x square. B is correct, right? So it's minus 7x, and the correct C is here, plus 6 equals 0. And this is easily solvable. Notice this is x minus 6 into x minus 1. Completion of. No, you could easily see that this is simple. There is no root, nothing like that. No complex, no or real roots. X minus 6 into x minus 1. So these are the solution. In fact, this is what Krishna said. Notice, so the coefficient, the C is incorrect here, but B is correct, right? You can easily find that because B is negative of sum of the roots. That is minus 7. And then C is correct here. C is product of the two roots. That is 3 into 2, 6. So you can actually directly write it down if you know how the coefficients corresponds to the coefficients of the polynomial correspond to the roots, sum and product of the roots. But even otherwise, you could 2 lines, you could kind of do this. But at this stage, had you tried to solve these two equations, can we eliminate C bar? Can we eliminate B bar? That's a dead end because we really don't have, we have 4 unknowns: B, C bar, B bar, C. We have 2 equations. We have to conjure additional knowledge about roots. So C is the correct answer. Great. In a nice question, given the sequence of terms A, D, C, G, F, K, J, P, what is the next term? Is it directly from class or something like that? You know how to do this, right? Combination series A, C, G, F, K, J, P. So there is a jump of 1, A, B, C, C, D, E, F. There is a jump of 2. Then there is a jump of F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. G, H, I, there is a jump of 3. So there should be a jump of 4 here. After J, 4 letters, 5th letter should be there. And here D to G, D, E, F, G, there is a jump of 2. I suppose there is a jump of 3. And then there's a jump of 4. And then there should be a jump of 5. We have discussed this combination series. Notice increasing series 1, 2, 3, 4. Gap is increasing. Again, this gap is increasing, but starts with 2. So the answer here is, what is the answer here? Yeah, this should be OV. Okay. Might be directly from class, but yeah. The point is to recognize this, starting to recognize all these combination patterns. Fine. Right triangle PQR is to be constructed in the XY plane so that the right triangle is at P and line PR is parallel to the x-axis. XY coordinates of PQR are to be integers that satisfy inequalities between minus 4 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 5, 6 less than or equal to y less than or equal to 16. Number of different triangles that could be constructed with these properties are. So we know PR is parallel. It could mean it's PR, or it could be PR like this. In each case, Q can be at the top. This is a right angle, right? P is the right angle is at P. So notice Q can be this way or this way. So there is a triangle like that, or there can be a triangle like this. Q, P, R. And then here Q can be this way or Q can be the other way, right? We have 4 combinations. If we get into this kind of thing, this is what I was initially warning you about. Now this gets into a combinatorial explosion. You don't know where the head to tail is. That's it. Better to skip if this is approach you have taken. But there is a very quick way to solve this problem. Can anyone give a very concise explanation? Because it's a hard question. Let's say 2 sentences about, let's say 12 words. How do we solve this? 6 to 16, it's 10. So roughly this. Yeah, please.
Sir, if we write the coordinates of all the 3 points, so we will get 4 unknowns, x1, x2, and y1, y2. And based
Okay.
on the inequalities, we can write at 10C2 and 11C2. Like
10C2. So what is your answer then? 10C2 and 11C2?
it is around 2000 something.
2000. The answer is right, higher and different.
Yes, sir. I did not look at your 4 dimension you mentioned.
Oh, you left out one of the possibilities, is that?
Sir, I only counted one possibility.
Oh, fine. I get it. Anyways, this is like a NAT question, no negative marks, and you haven't wasted time, so fine. No damage done. Even I know actually happens in the GATE exam. Now, anyone else answer to this question? P, Q, R. This right triangle. This is what gives it. Define the point P is what actually specifies that it's a right triangle. Right? It's very very special. So let's first choose P. Then let's choose choose R and then Q. How many ways of choosing P? Again, this order is important. First, look at how many ways you can choose P. All these numbers are integers. You can kind of count. P can be anywhere from here. How many numbers are from this end to that end? Notice all possible corners. So how many P's are there? How many possible locations for P? Then that is just a X location. Notice P can also be not just horizontally reverse, vertically reverse also. That means P can be this corner, that corner, this corner, this corner. Yeah, which is why first see how many P. So P can be any of these 4 corners are inside, not just vary along this. So there is more to it. So how many integers are here? This corresponds to 5 minus of minus 4 plus 1, L minus R plus 1, right? That is, quickly, I suppose this is 10. This corresponds to 16 minus 6 plus 1. That is 11. X coordinate P have 10 possibilities. Y coordinate P has 11 possibilities. X and Y coordinates together P has 110 possibilities. Now, having chosen P, how many possibilities does Q have? You chose P. That's an integer. Other than that integer, P is this, Q is this vertical right triangle, right? Can be here, 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 here. Any other point, any Y other than P's value. Now, Q is not 90. Once P is chosen, you cannot choose Q over here. Q needs to be chosen along the vertical line. Q needs to be chosen along this line. Along the vertical line, there are 11 spots. P already occupied 1. What is left is 10. And notice this is a combinatorial explosion. So into this and this and this. And finally, how many spots does R have? Let's say, P, you chose this as Q. R, of course, is constrained along this line. So Q is constrained along this line. R is constrained along this line. This point can be in any of the corners. So once P is fixed, how many spots does R have?
9.
Yeah, notice P already occupied 1 spot along one X coordinate. So this has 9 possibilities. So the total would be 9 2 zeros. So because this is a NAT, you try one option, fine, no negative marks. But since all these possibilities here, they start sensing that difficult question, very difficult analytical question. The 2 marks is not worth your time and effort. But of course, there is always this clever solution that takes a lot of insight and that doesn't come very easily. Of course, more you practice, starts coming. But the amount of practice required for this is very, very, a lot. And there are many more low-hanging fruits in the paper. So, great. So, Ramesh answered at 2 more questions, right? One more, taller, shorter. Now, this is like younger, older. Let's again do visually things. I use the verticals to kind of know this. Som is younger to Riaz. Riaz, Som, younger. So this way I have the young and this way I have the elder people. And Shiv is elder to Ansu. So this before we know Shiv and Ansu somewhere. Ansu can be actually anywhere over here, and Shiv is on top of Ansu. So let's write it this way. They can be anywhere. We cannot really compare these two yet. Anshu is the youngest in the group. Oh, we have a landmark for Anshu. So Anshu right now is here, and then Shiv can be anywhere over here. Anywhere from this thing. Which of the following statements is required to find the eldest child in the group? This is actually slightly harder. Notice this is also what information do you need to actually complete the question, right? Shiv is younger to Riaz. Shiv can be anywhere over here. If you say Shiv is younger to Riaz, restrict Shiv between this. You know the eldest person, that is Riaz. If you know one, you can answer. If you know Shiv is older to Som, notice in this case that you don't restrict this line. Shiv can be, either Riaz can be older, the Shiv can be older. So this doesn't help. So statement 1 determines the eldest child. This is a relatively easy question. This is younger, older, and then longer, shorter, faster, slower. All of that, quick visuals should tell you. So notice I am putting ranges on things that we don't know. Am I cut? Is a video gone?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, give me 1 second. There is some internet issue. Yeah, connected. Did I get back? So I think 5 more minutes will wind up this one. So I suppose question 9 is fairly easy. Arithmetic mean of 5 different natural numbers is 12. Largest possible value among the numbers is. What is the answer here? Yeah, I think the video is back on. So this is 1 GB per hour. Man, 6 hours of class. See, again with a quick explanation, concise explanation. Notice the trap here is 5 different. If not for different, you could say 0, 0, 0, 0 and 60. Mean is 12. So sum of the numbers is 12 into 5, that is 60. Had they, if they need not be different, 4 of them are 0, 1 of them is 60, you get mean to be 12. 60 by 5, that is 12. But they are all different. Sivasankari raises one more point. Sir, C is not a natural number. 0 is not a natural number. 0 is a whole number. Yeah, but even otherwise, you could actually rule it out. It's a MCQ, right? 1 out of this 4 is the case. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, and you don't have the right mixing number here. 54 or something is not there. 0, 1, 2, 3 is 6. So if 0 is allowed, 54 is the answer, but natural number, it's not in the option. At least then 0 is not a natural number. Or even it kind of rules out the case. It has to be 1, 2, 3, 4 to smallest numbers. 1, 2, 3 plus 4. Notice the sum here is 10. So if we have 50 here, you get the sum to be 60. Again, nice question. Just that there are some minor traps here. You could answer this whether or not you know what a natural number is. Quickly, any questions with the test? If not, let me close this discussion. No doubts, right?